Thank you.
Suzanne, she is about to vote.
I'll take it. Getting a little hoarse. I have no position or credentials whatsoever other than the fact that I'm a lifelong New Jersey resident, property owner, taxpayer, and I have lived in this state long enough to see a lot of changes take place, some of them good, some of them not so good. I have managed to get through this New Jersey State Development and Redevelopment Plan. I won't claim to understand everything that's in here, but I will make some comments on it. The plan is obviously ambiguous. It's very, very strong on flowery language and inferred benefits, and very short on specifics as to how the plan will deal with various problems in New Jersey. In short, it appeals to me as a sales tool for centralized planning for the state. We have a lot of experience with centralized planning in New Jersey. We can take a look at some of our major cities, which have been experimenting with centralized planning for generations. Patterson, Elizabeth, Perth Amboy, Camden, Trenton come to mind. I don't think we can point to those cities with and show much success in centralized planning in their environments. Downtowns that are unwalkable because they're unsafe, parking that is inadequate, population that exceeds the ability of the city to deal with them, to educate them. This is a decidedly un-American approach to handling our problems. We have done it. We have done it throughout our history with individual effort, entrepreneurial spirit, and a penchant for solving problems by approaching it from different directions. We have ample evidence in our own state and in our national government of the failure of centralized planning projects. New Jersey spends 10 times the national average to build or repair 1 mile of road. We pay for it. New Jersey has some of the highest cost per student of education in the United States, and our test scores are dropping annually. The town I come from, Monroe Township, was at one time, when my son attended school there, considered to be one of the premier education towns in Middlesex County. It does not enjoy that anymore. However, we spend roughly twice to 2.5 times what we spent on education when my son was in the school system. There is a mention in the plan of the need to repurpose and redevelop existing developed properties. This to me gives the state or even the county the ability to do with properties what they see as being appropriate. This degrades personal property rights. We already have property rights under stress in this state from abusive municipal bonding issues where the taxpayer property owner is the payer of last resort in the event of default. Your property rights have been diminished because the courts can force you to pay for what your elected officials have chosen to borrow under bond. There's no doubt we need some rules, some regulations, and we do need some concept of how we want our state to progress. This does not seem to provide any of those things, and it leaves a lot of things open-ended and a tremendous opportunity for abuse.
Good evening, I'm Suzanne Diane Ishii. I am the chair of the Board of Arts Built Communities at Monmouth University. I am going to read a letter for the record, which we will be submitting in full to the OPA. I will read a portion of the letter, and in addition to this letter, there are 9 recommendations of specific language which we strongly encourage the OPA to consider inserting into the state's final plan. On behalf of Arts Built Communities, I want to thank you for providing us the opportunity to share with you our ideas on how the arts in New Jersey support and promote the goals and objectives outlined in the state's strategic plan. Before I begin, I would like to tell you a little more about the organization I represent. Arts Built Communities of Rutgers University provides expertise on how arts connect community and economic development. Arts Built Communities helps New Jersey communities and arts-related organizations make better and more cost-effective decisions about community and economic development related to creative industries. We do this through several programs, including continuing education and asset-based creative placemaking, community coaching and leadership development, as well as develop community toolkits and academic research on the relationship between arts, economic, and community development. As described in Objective 1.4 of the state's strategic plan, ABC is looking forward to forging an effective partnership with the Office of Planning Advocacy to help advance the mission of the state plan. It is critical that OPA understand the importance and influence that the arts have on the state's economy, community development, downtown revitalization, the retention of creative capital in New Jersey, and the overall quality of life for our residents. As such, the state's strategic plan needs to formally acknowledge and recognize the cultural, economic, and social value the arts provide in creating vibrant, high-quality communities and regions that make our state a much sought-after and desirable place to live. New Jersey is in competition with every other state in the nation when it comes to retaining and attracting high-value jobs. The relocation of business out of state results in the loss of jobs and the outward migration of our productive and creative workforce that threatens our ability to sustain the high quality of life we have come to expect. Tracy McDaniel, Executive Director of Choose New Jersey, relayed a story at this year's League of Municipalities Conference. When she was working in Houston, she tried to attract Boeing, but was defeated when Boeing chose Chicago because of its arts district, which greatly added to its quality of life. Investment in our arts and cultural institutions is a fundamental necessity if we are to attract and retain a creative class of employees and businesses, including those prosperous industrial clusters already identified in the SSP. Market research shows that travelers in the U.S. are increasingly seeking meaningful and distinctive experiences, and destination marketing is being tailored to their interests. A growing number of special interest travelers rank the arts, heritage, and other cultural activities as one of the top 5 reasons for selecting a particular destination. We also know that the tourist who visits for cultural reasons stays longer, spends more money, and returns more often than the average tourist. In New Brunswick, the tourist attending an event spends an average of $29 over the ticket price in the local economy. In 2010, the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, in conjunction with Gallup, published a survey-based report entitled Soul of the Community. This report was conducted in 26 cities over a 3-year period to help determine what attaches people to a community and what makes them want to put down roots and build a life there. In the survey, communities, social offerings, openness, aesthetics, and education are most likely to influence residents' attachment to their communities. The report finds that residents are particularly positive about the availability of arts and cultural opportunities and social community events. These factors rank even higher than jobs, safety, and the economy as the reason why people choose where they live. Interestingly enough, the study also shows that the communities with the highest levels of attachment have the highest rates of gross domestic product growth. New Jersey must publicly proclaim its rightful place as a cultural juggernaut if we want to offer businesses a reason to locate here and give our residents another reason to stay. As of January 2011, New Jersey is home to 21,523 arts-related businesses. New Jersey is one of the 10 top states with the greatest number of arts businesses. and employs 134,103 people. The creative industries account for 4.2% of the 511,995 total businesses located in New Jersey and 1.98% of the 4,076,471 total people they employ. Thank you very much.
Thank
The
you.
rest of this will be submitted. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony is up next, followed by Richard Zappo.
Yeah, I'm Tony Di Lodovico, and I'm president of my own environmental permitting company. I'm also a consultant to Virtual Services Group, and I'm on the state soil conservation committee. I'm on the Ocean County Soil Conservation Board. I'm on the New Jersey Builders Board. I deal with everybody. I've dealt with towns, municipalities, counties, and I basically deal with environmental planning and permitting. I just wanted to say it's interesting to see the diversity in the opinions and the strong opinions of the various people in the room. And that's the problem with dealing with the state plan. The state plan and the planning process in New Jersey has morphed into a regulatory process. And everybody that wants to stop something uses a plan or regulations to do that. And everybody that wants to do something tries to counter that. So my encouragement to the state planner, because I think you do need plans. I don't think you can just have everybody do whatever they want. You need some type of a plan, but the planning process has to stay a planning process and not a regulatory process. You can't impose on people how to live and where to live. You have to identify regions, what type of, what the environment is in those regions, what the natural resources are in those regions, what the infrastructure is, everything that is articulated in the plan, you have to identify. And then you can, on a state level, try to prioritize where you think you should put your investments, but you can't have a plan that then prohibits this, or says you can't do this, or you can't do that. You need to make sure you have a planning document that's a framework for them to have the local communities, the local businesses, local environmental groups to decide, okay, this is what we can do in this community. And as someone that deals with environmental engineering, I come from the bent that everything has an impact. So you can't say because it has an impact, you can't do it. I come from, has an impact, how do we cost effectively mitigate that impact and still have an economic state that protects the environment and protects all the interests at the same time. So I would encourage the State Planning Commission to finalize a plan that is a frame and a guidework on how we're going to move forward in the future, but does not dictate where we can and can't.
Thank you. Richard?
I'm approaching this more from a emotional standpoint. I don't believe that we have anything if we don't have our freedom. There's already a plan in effect for our state. It's called the Constitution. We have lots of people who aren't following the Constitution. Our legislators and bureaucrats appointed by the legislators have lost sight of the fact that their job is to protect our freedom and our property. That's what your job is. It's not to come up with plans and ideas and to create jobs and to feed people and provide health care and all these other things. We're supposed to protect our property and protect our freedom. And what the other gentleman pointed out, you can have all the plans you want, there's always unintended consequences. And the plans in the next administration will change manually. All right? So it's all going to get used as a method of control. And we don't want to be controlled. We're tired of being controlled. My wife and I are being taxed out of our home. It's pure and simple. There's no doubt about it. I'm hanging on by the skin of my teeth, getting taxed out of my business, okay? I raised my prices. I'm going to places where I'm charging $25 to these restaurants and bodegas and places. And I'm going in there and they don't have $25 in their registered payment, okay? That's how screwed up everything is. And that's because you people are taxing us out of our homes. There's too many people with state jobs. There's too many people with municipal jobs. And we cannot, that is what is not sustainable. Okay?
Followed by Lorraine.
Lorraine here?
Yes. Kate is first, and then Lorraine.
Kate Millsapson with the New Jersey chapter of the Sierra Club, and we have major concerns that the street strategic plan will hurt our environment and the taxpayer because it's not about substance or science. It's about taking care of special interests and speculators. There was no carrying capacity analysis or scientific basis for the strategic plan, so we will be paying for sewer lines in areas where there's no treatment capacity at the local wastewater treatment plants. You can, this plan is being used to justify any project anywhere in the state with the priority investment criteria that's been announced. There's no transparency or standards, so it's subject to politics and influence. And as I said before, our tax dollars will be paying for some politically connected developer to get a sewer line, and we'll be stuck with the flooding and the increased tax bills and fund it. This project is going to be used to justify subsidies for poorly designed projects like Xanadu and NCAP. And under this plan, priority growth areas include areas in need of redevelopment as determined by the towns. So the towns will say what needs to be redeveloped, opening up plans to eminent domain use, like happened in Long Branch and other areas in the state. The Sierra Club is vehemently opposed to the Kelo decision and does not want to see our taxpayer dollars going to those types of eminent domain uses. I think there's one thing that everyone in this room agrees on, that there needs to be 21 hearings.
Yes.
Can achieve the one thing that everybody agrees on within 21 years.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Molly Rogers. I present the book to my friend. She's not here. Does anyone have a problem with me speaking in her absence? Okay, thank you. First off, I'd like to know what the OP8 is. It's under the Assistant Urban Center evolved into component of healthy metropolitan area. What the heck is that?
This is your public comment portion.
Okay, well, I'd like to know what that is, first off. Second off, it seems that many people in this room who agree to what's going on with the state plan are people that either A, work for the government or have a vested interest. What's that? Very pertinent statement. If this is so important and you're giving it our growth, why don't we have a public vote on it?
Yes.
That would, at least as the public, I would say, is not here in the room. Secondly, I thought, like, being in this country is all about the American dream. How can the American dream be shoving me into a hub where I have to buy food in a store that may not have the things that I eat, or working a job that doesn't pay me what I want? The American dream is all about striving to be your best, not to have the government tell you what your limitations are. I don't like what's going on in the state of New Jersey. I don't like what's going on in the school systems. I don't like that the government is telling us what they want us to do. They work for us, as these children over here said. And I think there has to be a stop to this now before it gets so out of control. You live in a home? Do you live in a home? Do you live in a home? The other gentleman, do you live in a home? That woman in the back, do you live in a home? You want to be shoved in a hub? You want to live in a 2x4 box? Do you want to live like that? Do you want to have unclean water and no
Very elitist. They want us to live there.
I sure as hell don't. And I know a lot of people in New Jersey don't either. We need to stand up for our rights. They're all we have. Don't let them take it away from us.
Yeah.
Catherine and then Enos Beagle. Catherine, B-A-J-T-A-E.
That would be me.
I'm sorry.
Okay, well, one of the gentlemen said about the brevity of this plan. Therein lies the danger. The verbiage, as many have mentioned, is flowery. It is nirvana-like. It's going to make your dreams come true. Everything's going to be hunky-dory. However,
Speak up, please.
Yeah, can't hear you. I'm sorry?
Speak up.
Can't hear. I have never been told that.